Howdy, farm friends. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey y'all. Let us know if you can hear us and if our connection is good, because we are trying to do this from outside for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
We don't want to be stuck in the house because we like to be outside all the time, as much as we can.
Yep. I'm turning off my Wi-Fi on my phone, so maybe
Yeah,
that'll
I
help
think-
some too.
Yeah, I turned mine off. Yeah, y'all let us know if you can hear us.
You might
You guys-
see some animals in the background.
Yeah, so, and if anything gets any National Geographic back there, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
It is springtime, hormones are raging. It's been the ducks more than anything lately, and we just saw, I wish we could show you, but there are some wild ducks down in the pond, and it is a breed of duck, variety of duck, I don't know which one to say, that we see a lot, and they're called hooded mergansers. Google those because they are gorgeous. They have striking deep orange eyes, and they're a diving duck, and so we can see them like dive down into the pond, and they eat algae and different plant growth in the pond. But there's 4 of them down there right now that I can see just hanging out.
Cool. So I did see some folks on Facebook who said they were having audio issues, but YouTube says they can hear us really well.
Yay.
So
We're just off the
hopefully-
back porch, so hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully it stays good.
Yeah,
Lady
hopefully
is staring at me from the back.
You'll be able to hear us better on Facebook soon, hopefully. So.
Well, we wanted to do a live. We wanted to come on for a little bit. It has been, gosh, has it been 14 days since we put out a video?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, and really and truly, since Zach's surgery, since my gut sickness that I had pre and during and post vacation, we have just been playing catch up and changing things here on the farm and just having to work really hard. We've also been busy with some of our web clients, since that's what we do also. A lot of homesteader, a lot of YouTube farming web clients. And we went on a big trip. The furthest I have been cross states in the car in a long time. Well, I say that, we went up to South Carolina for my cousin's wedding in the fall, but this is the furthest west I've been, northwest. We took a trip up to Missouri to do, just South Missouri, to do some photos for one of our newer web clients, and we just had a great trip. It was only 2 days. It was really quick. 5 states in 2 days, both ways.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a video coming out this coming week to share all of that with you. We hit some stops on the way home that we weren't expecting, and we may have brought home some new animals.
We definitely brought home some new animals.
Definitely. Jason and Brooke were talking about on their live the other night. They're our buddies, and I will say, they are our homestead enablers. They tried to pin it on us that I would be the enabler in a situation where there was an opportunity to get more animals, but they definitely enable us somehow.
Yeah. I mean, they've been enabling us since before they even knew us. So,
Yeah,
or
very true, very true.
or inspiring. Let's say inspiring.
We'll say inspiring. Yeah. But Jason said that if Brooke and I went to a livestock auction together, that Brooke would come home with stuff, and she was like, "No, I won't come home with stuff." And he said, "I don't know, Jacqueline might convince you otherwise." So to tell you a little bit on our trip, we found a livestock auction on our way home, and we were just in our minivan, and so there was no way anything very big was coming home with us. But if we had had a trailer, if Brooke had been with me, she even offered, she said, "I'll drive up there. I'll drive up there with my trailer and I'll pick up whatever you want." I was like, "Oh, I can't do that." See, she was enabling me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll drive all the way to Missouri and come get it for you.
Yeah.
I would have brought home a Jersey milk cow it would have come home with us.
Yes, it would have.
It would have, because here in Alabama, I mean, I've never been in an area that was predominantly big farming operations, but that was more of the area that we were going through and in. And that just the animal prices, the livestock prices were so low. Like you're looking at a decent quality, couple years old Jersey milk cow being $3,000, you know, a good one here, or $1,500. Eleanor, baby, the table shakes. It's
Eleanor's
okay.
was leaning on the table, so it started shaking a little bit.
She's asking for something, asking her daddy for something. But you know, here at home, you're looking at a couple of $1,000s to get a 2 or 3 year old Jersey milk cow, you know, proven breeder and in milk currently. And we watched a 3-year-old Jersey in milk cow. She was underweight. She needed some love and TLC. Went for $450.
It was crazy. I mean, the people who were regulars at that sale did say that things were going very low that day, but I mean, that is insane for a cow.
And we got there after the auction started. We've never been to a livestock auction. I'll say that too.
Yeah.
We've never been to a livestock auction. You want to say hey, Eleanor?
Hi.
Never been to one. I have purposefully avoided them because I'm so soft when it comes to animals, and just anything really. Be careful.
I was filled because I saw that bird.
Can you get down off those, please? Or go that way? Because those rock. There you go.
Goat's coming across.
Yeah,
There
goats
goes
coming through.
the rooster.
But I've avoided livestock auctions to this point because I knew I would leave with probably more than I should. In just a second. But yeah, I would have come home with the cow.
Yeah, definitely. And that's not the only animal. There was a miniature donkey that would have come home with us.
Yes. He went for $200.
Yeah, I mean,
He would have fit in the back of the van. He would have fit in the van.
that was not gonna happen.
It was not going to happen, but he would have fit in the van. But what we were waiting on were goats. They did goats and sheep at the end of the auction, and we were waiting on goats. And just amazing deals. If anybody was wanting to get started with Nigerian dwarfs or what's the other? Pygmy goats. Somebody could have gotten some amazing deals if they were okay with them having horns. But here, we don't want any small goats. We want to stick with big goats. We want to stick with Nubians, and we don't want to have horned goats because of Eleanor, and for their safety. They get them hung on things. And if you're going to have a herd, we've been told by numerous people, it is better to have all one or the other. So either all dehorned or all horned, because the horned ones can cause serious injury to the non-horned ones, especially younger ones. So there were does in milk, horned. We
Lots
could have
of
gotten, multiple. And then we found out after everything was over, we didn't get any goats, but we found out after it was all over that the bottle babies were at the very beginning.
Yep.
And
Which is a good thing, because
we would have left with probably, we had enough, so it was cash only.
yeah,
It was cash only. And
that helped us
It
too.
did. It limited what we could get because we didn't have a lot of cash on us, and there was not an ATM anywhere nearby. Thankfully, if they were smart, they would have one there.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's true.
The full-blooded bottle baby Nubian does that were just beautiful
They
went for
were
$80
gorgeous.
a piece,
Oh,
and that's
y'all.
$250 to $400 depending on breeding here at home. So I would have come home if I'd had more money, if we'd been there when it started.
I know if they were
You got dirt on your face.
$1 a piece, you would have got all of them.
I would have got all of them. $1
That's
a
true.
piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the auction started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't get there until 2:30 or so in the afternoon, and we just happened to be driving by. It was on the road that we were driving on. It was almost to Arkansas. That's how close we were to the state line between Missouri and Arkansas.
And Tracy just said we might need to take a road trip. And to be very honest, the reason we turned around is I saw the livestock auction place on the way, and it was really cute. It was really cute, decorated. Whoever does all of that for that one, they made it eye-catching, so you noticed it. A lot of cool antiques sitting outside. But right up the road, there was an exotics farm that had wallabies.
I want to go see.
Yeah, I knew.
You take me.
They had wallabies and they had white emus. And with our predator issues, it's been suggested to us by several people that maybe we look at getting an emu. Rather than a donkey, maybe look at getting an emu. So if they had baby emus, we would have come home with a baby emu.
Probably.
We would have. Jason and Brooke have told us several times, hey, look at an emu, because they're not going to let anything near your other animals.
Yeah.
So
It gets kind of complicated, and there is some luck involved.
Oh
when
yeah,
it comes
definitely.
To emus.
We've known people that had emus that weren't friendly, but that would be getting one very, very young and handling it a lot.
Yeah, they have to be in the house with us for a while.
But yeah, their exotics auction, Tracy, is at the end of May. I think it's the second or third weekend in May, and it's only 5 hours. It's only a 5-hour drive. So road trip, we're gonna travel in boots all the way up to. Zach's like, please no, please no.
And I don't even think. I think it's actually like 6.5 hours.
Oh, it's 5. Definitely
Sure.
5. I have to say, I gotta get some water. But I have to say, I have been heavily influenced with my outfit.
Yeah.
I have been. I've got a sloth shirt on the right side. And I have little sloths peeking out of a pocket. This is Eleanor's favorite shirt that I wear. But I have been influenced into these Duluth overalls by Brooke and by Judy. Judy up at Sneed's Farmhouse in Coleman, Alabama. And both of those farms are going to be at the Petals from the Past Alabama YouTuber meet and greet this Saturday. The event starts tomorrow. The meet and greet portion is not tomorrow, but Antiques in the Garden, the first day at Petals from the Past, will be tomorrow. I think it's 9 to 4 tomorrow. And then on Saturday, the YouTuber meet and greet and Antiques in the Garden will also be going on too from 9 to 4. So we're looking forward to seeing. I know a bunch of y'all are coming. And I met up with a friend today, and I sent you the picture. I'm going to pull it up and show y'all on my phone, because clearly Duluth is doing something right.
If you airdrop it, I can put it up.
Put it
for
up
him,
there.
yeah.
Coley's probably going to be like, oh gosh, because we're in a parking lot. But we have been heavily influenced into buying Dribble. They are super lightweight. They're breathable. And my friend told me today that if you get them wet, which if you're working outside in the garden or with animals, you get your clothes wet. She says they dry really easy and they don't stick to you like everything else does. Zach's about to put this picture up. We both showed up without talking to each other like this.
Hold on, it's not going up just yet. I gotta save it real quick.
I want you to show what happened to me the day we left for Missouri too.
Let's see here.
Bear with
But
us.
y'all, the overalls, something funny happened as well. The picture's gonna be funny, but also, like 2 days before Jason said something about the overalls, maybe for the first time, Jacqueline and Eleanor had been in the Hoover, Alabama area and stopped at Duluth and got me a pair of like the exact same overalls that Jason was wearing when he started talking about it.
It's this green color. We got them for your birthday in February.
Yeah.
It was like early February. But yours, and I didn't know this, the length was too long. They had come in like very general sizes. It's not like waist size or anything like the specific leg length that you need.
Yeah. All right, so here's what happened to Jacqueline today. She shows up.
I showed up to meet my friend to get chicks from us. She's picking up like her 3rd or 4th set of chicks in 2 months. And we had on the same overalls and the same color and everything. I thought that was hilarious. I saw her in the car and I was like, we are wearing the same thing.
Uh-huh.
My
And then
goodness.
Jacqueline wanted to show y'all.
Oh yeah.
What?
I kind of wanted to tell a little bit about that.
Set it up.
So we left for Missouri after work on a Thursday, and we actually stayed in Arkansas that night, and then finished our drive the next morning on Friday. And Thursday, it was just like one thing after the next. It just never fails when you're trying to get out of town early and hit the road and make good time and not be driving late at night. It just never fails that things are not going to go the way that you need them to. And doing my very last chore, I had got fully ready to get on the road. We were going to go on a date that night once we made it to Arkansas. We were going to go to dinner together. It was just me and Zach. Eleanor was not with us. And I was doing my last chore. I was like, oh, I need to go make sure that the geese are locked up and that they have water for the day, for the rest of the day, the evening, so my parents didn't have to do chores until the morning. And I grabbed the hose pipe. And this hose pipe is a little messed up, but apparently it had been stuck into the mud and there was dirt on the inside of the hose pipe. And I turned it on and I felt, water hit my face and hit my clothes, but I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, I'm not paying attention. I just thought it was water, and I had makeup on, and so I didn't want to just like rub my face. And y'all, I'm working in there with the geese, and in my mouth I feel something gritty, and I was like, oh no. And then my eye started feeling kind of funny. Y'all, it sprayed mud.
Yeah, we'll act like it was mud.
It sprayed mud all in my hair, all in my face, in my mouth. It was not right now. Why? Let me go help her.
That's a good sentence. Eleanor said, I need your help. And Jacqueline said, why? And she said, I want to get a Sarama out, but there's a spider. So Jacqueline's going to go help with that situation. Let's see here. Thanks to everybody that's hanging out in the chat with us. When I've had my head down like that, it's because I'm checking out the chat, and apparently the signal on Facebook still isn't quite as good as YouTube right now, so we were going in and out. So thanks for everybody that's still hanging on there. But y'all, we had such a great trip up to Missouri, and we had to run back on Saturday afternoon because, or really late Saturday night, we got back because I had to be here in town to preach, and so we had to book it back home. If we could have stayed the rest of the day Saturday in Missouri, well, we wouldn't have wound up at the livestock auction, which was a lot of fun, and we really can't wait to show y'all what came out of that. But we would have stayed a little bit longer if we could have. We were just having a great time up there, but everything works out for the best, and I think y'all are going to be excited with us whenever we share what happened at the livestock auction. But but there was almost a fight right in front of us at the livestock auction. It was crazy. A couple of older gentlemen were not very happy that the auction had lasted so long without getting to the goats. They wanted to buy and sell goats and had come apparently a long distance from Arkansas. And y'all, I've not seen two men of a certain age really get after each other like that. But it was weird, and we were very glad that they didn't actually wind up fighting. It didn't come to blows or anything like that, but it came pretty close. They were pretty heated. telling them at the livestock
heard you.
auction there were a couple of gentlemen who
That was not enjoyable.
that was kind. I mean, it was kind of
scary.
scary. Yeah, I was checking behind me a good bit, just to make sure. You just never know how somebody's going to react to getting their feelings hurt like that so publicly, and
Yeah.
tensions were high. But luckily, that was
Luckily
kind of
that was
it.
it.
Yeah, and they calmed down, and they even let the guy that was so mad come back to buy and sell goats. So that was big of them, because I don't know that I would have been able to let
It
them
got
come back
ugly
in.
for a little bit, and I know that happens a lot of places. We're just not usually somewhere where that happens.
Right.
We're not in
right.
those situations
Yeah.
between friends and church and family. Like we just
Mhm.
we don't see a lot of that.
We don't
so,
wind up places where fights happen a lot. So
No. Eleanor had to go get. She wanted one of her Seramas, but they're roosting already for the evening. The sun is tilt us up a little bit. The sun is just barely right there
yeah.
on the other side of the shop. But she's got one of her new baby Cochins. This is a silver birchen Cochin.
Her name
so
is
cute.
Silver.
And
her
it's
name
a,
is Silver.
A bantam coach.
A bantam Cochin. Yeah. And
This
this will
is
hopefully be
Silver.
another one of her show birds.
I hope it's a girl.
It is a girl. That one's a girl.
Oh, yay. Silver.
She doesn't like chickens, not at all.
I'm gonna name one Gold, so it can go.
Well, they're all
So
silver.
you can have
though.
silver and gold.
I mean, you can name one gold, but they'll all be that whitish silver color at their neck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna name one of the. It doesn't. I think I'm gonna name one of the Silkies, one of the buff Silkies,
Uh huh.
because I already know we have a baby buff Silkie
Mm-hmm.
in there, and her name's Gold.
Oh.
Okay, so
Silver.
she's
and
naming
then-
one of the buff silkies gold so that she can have silver and gold.
And
We have
because they're
kind of
gonna
very
live together.
quickly. We have more bantam chickens than we do large fowl chickens.
Yeah.
And that's from our predator issue that is
Yeah.
still, it's not, we haven't had any big attacks again because we're locking everything up at night, but we have had some more activity. We found some more tracks. I still think we're dealing with a fox, and I'm really, really hopeful that we are going to be able to take care of that problem, because it's just losing 30 birds
Yeah.
that are active egg layers is that's a hard hit when we have a business that revolves around their eggs.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, there's that, and there are pets.
yes.
I mean,
Ugh.
now we know that that's a big risk that you run when
Yeah.
you free range chickens. In fact, if you free range chickens, you're going to lose.
If you're
chickens.
free range any animal,
Yeah.
if any animal is in a pasture, you are risking
Yeah, but
something happening. to
chickens,
them.
it's almost a certainty
Oh, yeah.
that if you
And-
put chickens out in the pasture, something's going to get some of them.
And truly, I'm moving more towards dedicated coops and runs,
Yeah.
even for the large fowl, with like very select possibility of free range at certain times. And that may not be permanent. That may
Yeah.
be, until right now everybody is still free ranging during the day. They're let out after sunrise, because sunrise is when we see predator activity. But I don't want to focus a whole lot on that because it just makes me so sad.
Yeah.
It makes me,
Yeah.
it is not a fun thing at all.
No
It is hard.
no part of it is fun. We
But it
I-
is something that people need to hear.
yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a prominent thing. If chickens are so fragile, so fragile, they hide illness. They can be scared into having a heart attack and dying. They'd never even have to be touched by the predator. Just the predator's presence can cause them to get sick or
Yeah.
cause them enough stress to cause a heart attack. And
Yeah.
it's the same way with ducks. Ducks are the same way. I'm pretty sure it's the same with turkeys. Did you hear that?
Yeah. It was a chicken going bark.
Okay. Okay. Oh man.
She's talking about predators.
I'm talking
and
about
so
predators, and I think I hear a dog bark. But this has not been dogs, because we've had dog
Yeah.
attacks, and dogs are messy. They play with what they've killed, and they leave it. Sometimes they'll
Yeah.
take it, but usually, I mean, you're looking at a lot of killing and leaving, and there have been no bodies except for the goose, except for our male goose. So
Yeah.
I'm still thinking fox, or potentially 2 coyotes or so.
Yeah.
But I'm not convinced on the coyotes. I think it's a fox that's coming maybe once or twice a week, stalking
Yeah.
and coming once or twice a week for an opportune moment to snatch something.
I'm still thinking coyote. But that's just me.
That's
But
just
it
what you're
could,
thinking.
it could be a fox, could be a coyote. I think it's probably one of those. I really don't think that it's a dog, or multiple dogs. We've dealt with that before, and like Jacqueline was saying, they're messy. And most of the time, if it's a dog that is just kind of roaming, they're not.
They go on. They don't keep
Yeah,
coming back
and they're-
week after week.
Well, they're not killing to get a meal. They're playing because they think that they're playing,
I'm
and
gonna have to
so
let Lady out. Speaking of
um,
dogs.
that most of the time, if it's a roaming dog, they come and they play with what's out there, and so you wind up with a bunch of dead birds in the field, and none of them gone. And so that's what we've experienced with dogs before. So I don't think that it's a dog. I'm thinking coyote, and Jacqueline's thinking fox. So yeah.
It's something so smart. It's just something very, very smart.
Yeah.
And stealthy.
Mm.
There goes the not stealthy thing. Lady. So we put up a fence across the backyard about a month and a half ago. And it's worked really well to keep the chickens and the ducks out, except for we've kind of stopped closing it because we don't have any plants in the ground up here right now that they would eat. We don't have the potager planted. We don't have the potager beds built. That is all kind of stalled. Do
Yeah.
you want to tell them why?
Well, first, we had planned. My plan for the potager was to have it established, all of the beds established by Easter, so that we could plant around Good Friday, Holy Week. That's when all the old timers say to plant around our area. It's wise because we typically don't get a frost after Easter, but every now and then we get a sneaky one right up close to Easter. So that's when they tell us to plant. So that's when I was shooting for, to have the potager garden ready. And so, but then I had to have surgery, and Jacqueline got sick as well, and so we got slowed down a lot, and so things changed a lot with the potager, with our plans, and it just didn't happen. And now I think that we found the bright side to us not having really worked hard on the potager, and
How
kind of
many hours were we in the car together on our trip?
Over probably
over
close
16?
to 20. Probably overall close to 20 hours.
Yeah, 20 hours-ish in the car together on a road trip. You talk about a lot of things. And to be honest, we talk every day, of course, but we don't have a lot of time to get into really deep conversations.
Yeah.
It's more needs-based, and this needs done, that needs done. We haven't had a date night in a while, so we did a lot of talking. Zach's favorite thing.
Jacqueline doesn't like that I think a lot. Before I say anything, I want to have it thought out. And I've been, y'all have a master's degree in theology, and that's essentially a literature degree. And so I am just so careful about what I put out there.
Just like what he's doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
He thinks about everything he's saying before he says it. It's more calculated. There's more thought there, and I just talk.
And so-
like my brain is 90 miles an hour.
So I'll take it all in. Whenever she comes to me with an idea, I take it in and I want to think about it before I respond. And that is just not the way that she would prefer
I
the
talk
conversation to
through
go.
every little thing and go back and forth
And so I hear her and I value what she's saying, but she's not getting a lot of feedback from me verbally.
So 20 hours in the car. So 20 hours in the car. Lots of
So
talking.
it was like
Lots
18
of,
one,
lots of
a
watching,
19 one, something like
lots
that.
of watching YouTube, catching up on
Uh-huh.
channels, looking
Yeah.
things up, talking through things. But I just finally said, I was like, look, we need a tractor.
Yeah.
And everybody has told us, but tractors are expensive.
They're so expensive.
The most we're now driving the most expensive vehicle we have ever had.
Mhm. And it's half the price of a small tractor.
Yeah. Until very recently, we had only driven vehicles that were either passed to us, we had traded work for,
Mm-hmm.
or we had paid $1,500 for. That was our most expensive vehicle, was $1,500. And I mean, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I grew up with my grandfather has a junkyard, and my dad works on cars. We've got awesome people in our lives that can help us work on vehicles, but our last minivan has 290,000 miles, which is fine. It's totally fine. We could keep driving it for a few more years. But we knew, if we're getting to the point where we're going to start investing in machinery and things for our farm and to make things easier on us, then we've also got to upgrade our vehicles because that makes sense. What you drive every day needs to be reliable.
Yeah.
And it was getting to where we were having to fix things pretty regularly on, a vehicle with nearly 300,000 miles. So we got a new to us minivan, and we have decided to buy the tractor. We've already
Yes.
bought the tractor,
Yes.
and it's supposed to be coming sometime next week.
Yeah. Hopefully next week, maybe early the following week.
Maybe earlier.
But hopefully we'll have the tractor here next week. And so that winds up being very good news in terms of the potager plans, because the tractor will have a box blade so we can break up the hard ground that's over there,
Ooh,
a
lady.
tiller so we can till up the ground over there and not only be putting topsoil on top of the soil, but we'll also be able to incorporate it with some of the soil that's there already, so it'll make it where roots can go down deeper. And also the tractor will have a nice front end loader on it, so in terms of moving dirt,
That's what we needed.
that's
That
what we
is
needed
what
the
we
most.
needed, because we have done everything by hand.
Uh-huh.
Everything has been by
Yeah.
hand. Every single thing that we do is by hand. Even moving the hay. Y'all have seen that
Yeah.
if you've seen some of our videos. 900-pound round bales of hay rolled and moved by hand, and it's just not good. It's
And
not good.
we know that we're young and
but
we're
we're
in good
barreling
health.
towards not young.
But we've both been hit by sickness and injury lately, and recognize that if we don't start taking steps to protect ourselves more on the farm, then it's going to shorten the amount of time that we get to spend out here. And I mean, nothing brings that to mind quite like, or brings it to reality quite like 2 weeks where you're stuck in bed basically.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, I'm still not quite back to full strength.
And neither am I. I mean, it's you can't. I was talking to Tracy today. You cannot wear yourself down physically to the point that you're digging yourself out of a hole and you can't even dig. That was the
Yeah.
analogy I used.
Yeah.
Like, you're in a hole and you can't even physically dig yourself out because you have wrecked your physical health. So we don't want to get in a situation where we're hurting bad and then we have to get rid of animals, and we have to stop gardening, and we don't want to do that. So this is needed, and it's happening, and I'm so excited about it. We'll still do a ton of stuff by hand, just logistically. A lot of our property is too wet to take the tractor into. We went with a Kubota B series. It's their compact line. It's not their smallest one. It's a step up. We're not going to use it to cut grass because it just wouldn't. Our areas are small that we cut. We would cut one hillside with the tractor very slowly.
That it's too wet and it's too hilly for the tractor that we got. If we were gonna cut our hillsides here, we would need to get a bigger, wider tractor.
And then it's too heavy.
Yeah, and then it's way too heavy to go most other places.
So its main purpose is the tiller attachment and the loader attachment. The loader being very first. And I'm excited because the other bed right here. Look, can y'all see Peggy Martin? Look at Peggy Martin. She's gorgeous. She'll be in some videos soon.
I cannot believe how awesome that rose has done.
Peggy Martin is the climbing rose that's back here on the shop, and she is just loaded down. She's a cluster bloomer, beautiful little pink buds, just absolutely gorgeous. And next year she'll be even prettier, and the next year she's just gonna keep going up that wall. It's gonna be so nice.
It's gonna be awesome.
But the bed on everything's opposite when I'm looking at myself.
There you go.
The bed on this side I still haven't done. I have a bunch of plants from petals sitting there still.
We need to move those into the greenhouse so that they get attention and.
But I haven't made the bed there yet because it's hard ground. It has gravel in it. There's a lot of gravel for drainage, which is good, but there's just a lot of gravel mixed in, and so you can't dig with a shovel. It's hard, and we've got some buried electrical lines right there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful right there.
Yeah, we won't be able to till the whole thing. And we're not going to be tilling a lot of stuff anyways. It'll just be mainly to break ground in an area and then start establishing that area with good soil from the rabbits, from the goats, from chickens. We're planning to use chicken compost. Had something funny happen. It'll be in a video in the next couple of days where our pasture flock used to live in the field where they roosted. We had a collard come up.
Yeah, collard greens.
And we've had a couple of sunflowers, which we've had that before. But I mean, just in a straight area of chicken poop. Just nothing but super hot, ammonia-ridden chicken poop.
And I honestly don't know how the collard would have gotten there.
You said you think it ate it in the garden.
Yeah,
and
I mean...
the whole plant.
I just can't... I don't know that I have let any kind of brassica go to seed in the garden. But maybe when they ate all the starts or something, there happened to be a seed or something. I have no idea.
I didn't feed them any collards. So not intentionally.
But that's what it is. It's collard greens. And then the sunflowers, those are a little bit easier to...
Yeah, they're going to be blooming pretty soon.
Yeah. But the garden, I planted some in the garden this evening. We've got 3 rows of different types of squash and cucumbers that I was able to put in, and so when I would put the first one in, y'all know me, I'm sappy. I could have cried right there.
Well, I understand because you really didn't know. Like, you started those seeds before we went on vacation. Tracy took care of them. We wouldn't have garden starts right now except for little bitty ones if it wasn't for friends helping. And you wouldn't, be able to put them. You didn't know if you were gonna even have starts to go in the ground even then. Pre-surgery, and then all of the starts stayed. So our garden starts this year started in our spare bedroom, the method that we've used before, which is just grow lights just LED shop
Yeah, it's
lights.
not even. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
nice grow
it's-
lights or anything.
It's LED shop lights on shelves with the trays under it, and I kept watering everything. And I mean, we lost some things, but we didn't lose a lot.
Yeah.
I did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We lost some more things that needed more attention. Was it some herbs?
Yeah.
There was a tray of something
Well,
that just wouldn't.
I'm pretty sure that I got a bad block
Oh, yeah.
of peat moss last spring, because I didn't do well with starting seeds last summer for our fall garden, and I just thought it was me. I just thought maybe I don't know as much about starting stuff as I thought I did. Maybe I'm not as good at it, and but
Call lady, she's in the
I think that's what happened. Is I had a bad block of peat moss that I was using to mix my starting mix with. So, anyways, those are the plants we lost. Was the stuff that I tried to start in that mix that I made. Everything that I used pre-made seed starting mix for did very well, and so, like Jacqueline said, that is in large part to Tracy. Thanks so much, Tracy. She took care of those starts while we were on vacation, so that when I got back, I had surgery shortly after getting back from vacation, so Jacqueline took care of them then. So they did really well. Didn't know how they were going to do, and they've been in the greenhouse since the greenhouse has been able to hold them, and I didn't know if anything was going to be able to go in the greenhouse. So that's why I kind of had an emotional reaction to getting that in the ground out there. And plus, it's been difficult. The work that I have done in the garden has been difficult. It's been more difficult than it was last year, just because I don't have the energy or the strength right now. And so even as I was using the wheel hoe on those rows, I didn't know when it was going to be done. But we have a whole row of yellow squash, a whole 30-something foot row of yellow squash, which is one of our favorites. Half a row of zucchini, half a row of green griller squash, and then one whole row of different types of cucumbers.
We have rationed our summer squash from last year. We still have some in the freezer because we have rationed it. What do you call that? The freeze thing?
Vacuum seal?
I vacuum sealed all of it. And it was a test, it is mushy when you cook it, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's not so mushy that
Yeah.
there's nothing, there's still texture there. Even cooked in the Instant Pot, like even pressure cooked, there's still texture there. So they did good, and I'll do that again.
I mean, nothing beats one right out of the garden, super fresh.
Never.
But
of course.
but yeah, I liked them frozen, and we'll probably freeze dry some this time.
Yeah.
We'll give that a try.
Have we even mentioned that we have a freeze dryer?
Yes, we've mentioned.
We haven't had it in a video yet.
Yeah.
It's one of those things when you have a lot going on, it's hard to fit it all in.
Yeah.
And we want our videos to be interesting and to have a purpose. But it's coming. We will have a lot of preserving happening with the garlic and with our onions.
Yep. We have
You excited
let's
about
see,
onions?
I've got 4 rows of regular onions, a row of green onions, and a row of garlic. So we've got a bunch of onions to pull up. A bunch of them are pretty good size too.
They are. Like, some of them are like fist size, and then some of them are like, I don't know, $50.
Some of them are
It's interesting.
are probably about ready to come up, and others probably need another couple weeks.
We're
But
watching for the tops to
yeah,
start
about
flopping.
what I heard this week was you want about 2/3 of the
Smell like
top
your
to be wilted, and then you
Okay.
pull them. But
Did you
honestly,
hear that, lady? 2/3 of the top. have to
since
be
we're going to
wilted.
be preserving so many of them, we don't have to make sure that they get to that point.
Okay.
Because really, you let them get to that point, one, so that they get as big as they're going to get, but also so that they keep better. They have longer shelf life when you cure them. If you don't pick them until that point. So
Catherine over at G&G Farm said try cubing and sealing the summer squash. That's what I did. I did some sliced, but not much. Most of it I cubed, and it's done fine.
and we're gonna do some butternut squash this year, and that's probably how we'll do that. Is cubed and
Okay.
cubed and frozen.
Well, y'all, we don't want to keep you too long. We don't want to be on here an hour and 30 minutes like we usually are. We're going to try to get better at keeping our lives a little bit shorter for you, and we got to cook dinner.
Yep.
We are excited to see some of you at Petals on Saturday. And for anybody that can't be there, and I know, I hope other channels are saying this, it's a YouTuber meet and greet. And so there will be videos.
Yes.
I know we will make
Yes.
one that shows the event and maybe does a little bit of an interview with each
Yeah, that would be cool if we.
with each channel that's going to
Yeah.
be there. At least a hello and
Yeah. Some of our favorite folks will be there. So.
and new friends.
New friends.
New
yeah.
friends too. I debated on taking Lady with us. I really did. I know Zach will be no, we're not taking Lady, but Lady, she's so good. She's such a good baby.
If we weren't
She's really
staying
good.
overnight,
Yeah.
then it would make more
Well, I
sense.
do have something to tell you about that.
Okay, we may not be staying overnight.
So, with our trip to Missouri, we booked 2 Airbnbs because they were less expensive than the hotels. And I like staying in an Airbnb where you have a kitchen and it's a little bit more comfortable. And I thought that I booked the hotel. I even told our friend Judy that I booked the hotel. And yesterday I started looking for my confirmation for my booking. I looked through every email address. I searched the hotel name. And I'm assuming so many people are coming to this event that there are no hotels within a 30-minute radius of Clanton. So I didn't book the hotel, but there is good news. We're staying with your sister.
Okay.
We're gonna get to stay with Zach's sister, and it's really like it was just to save us. We're about an hour and 30 minutes from Clanton, so it's just to save us having to drive super early. And we're gonna be there tomorrow for a little bit too, so we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
It just our overnight plans changed a little bit.
That's fine.
So Lady could
It
go.
would be okay if we
Lady
drove
could
all the
go.
way home.
Lady, you could go with us.
So
Well, y'all, we'll see some of you on Saturday. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. I hope you enjoyed Sunset on the Farm.
yeah.
And if our internet was good enough and it stays good enough, then we will absolutely live stream from outside because it's just so nice, especially right now. It feels amazing out
Yeah,
here.
it really does. It feels really good. Starting to get some mosquito
Yeah,
action,
a
but
little
that's
bit
not,
of
it's not too
skeeters.
bad though.
I'm gonna go fish for a minute because it's
Yeah.
that kind of weather. Eleanor is
Uh-huh.
too. She'll go fishing with me.
Yeah.
She's been all about that lately. And we gotta feed goats and lock up chickens.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to do now. Gotta lock them all up. Right, Lady? Lady said, I'm going back in the house.
And we do have
in the
a few
house.
more chores now. Hint, hint.
Oh, yeah.
And we already, said the thing about the animal auction. So y'all make sure, the livestock auction, y'all make sure that you check in over the next week or so
It'll
because
be beginning of next week or so that we share.
because we've got some exciting stuff to share, and we can't wait to share that with y'all.
Thank y'all so much. We'll see you soon.
Bye, farm friends. Y'all have a good one.
The lady said, who's here? She looked around like, who is it?